Jeff Bezos has this concept where he talks about one-way doors and two-way doors, and most decisions are two-way doors, meaning that if you make a decision, it's not the end-all be-all. It's not going to wipe you out, and even if you're wrong, it's okay, because then you can go back, you can make a different decision, you can change course and be okay. The one-way doors are the very rare decisions that there's no going back, right? So you want to be very, very intentional. You want to think those through, but you may make like one or two of those a year. 99% of decisions are these two-way doors. So the first part of this is understanding that most decisions that you make don't have to be final, right? Like, you're making decisions based on the information that you have at the time, and you want to be able to exercise your best judgment. But let's say you're deciding in terms of making some sort of investment in the law firm, and you want to run some sort of marketing campaign. You say, all right, cool, I want to do it. And this happens all the time with us, right? We allocate ad spend to certain campaigns that we're running. We have certain things in mind that we want to do and we believe are going to be successful. Sometimes a week goes by, a month goes by, multiple months go by. It's not driving the results that we want it to drive. And we have an opportunity to iterate on that and change our approach and reallocate, right? So that we can eventually be right. So it doesn't mean that you're stuck with that, saying we're just going to continue to do it this way. You can adjust and adapt, and ultimately we use it as R&D, like research and development, to get more data back and then make better decisions based on the data. So you can iterate on your decisions. Similarly, it's understanding that at the end of the day, you never know sometimes what the right decision would have been, because hindsight is 20/20. So for example, let's say you are running late one day and you're going to the airport and you stop and get coffee, and you get caught in traffic and you arrive at the airport. Turns out you miss your flight, and now that starts to affect other things later in the day for you, and you're just like, man, I shouldn't have stopped for coffee. But then what if you find out that plane went down, and you're like, well, I guess it was a good thing that I stopped for coffee. So the decisions just are. A lot of times, if you look back at some of the most pivotal moments in your life, it was just happenstance. The people that you meet in the situations that you meet them. Another example being, I remember the first time, I met Alexander Shannara, how our friendship was born. And we were at a conference in Miami, and I've told the story before, but those that aren't familiar with this is just an example of you never know. I spoke at the conference, and then I was going to fly out early, but I felt bad leaving the team there because we were exhibiting, we had a booth, and I said, look, let's just change my flight so I could fly out on the later flight. That way I could help the team pack up, and then we could fly back together. So I ended up doing that, and then that flight got delayed, ironically, and then it got delayed again, and we ended up getting back to Atlanta. It was probably past midnight, and we're at baggage claim, and it turns out that Alex was on the same flight, and his flight got delayed, and we happened to bump into each other in baggage claim, and we would have never bumped into each other had it not been for the fact that I decided to change my flight because I wanted to return with our team, and then those flights got delayed, and then we happened to meet, and now we've got a great relationship and a great friendship. So you never know what a decision can lead to.